So 4 cases of missing children are currently being investigated by the police in Cape Town. This was revealed by Provincial Police Commissioner Thembisile Patekile in a recent briefing. Well, 6-year-old Joshlin Smith from Middlebos informal settlement in Saldanha Bay is one of the children who has been missing for over a week. Authorities have conducted extensive daily searches for Joshlin, and there is still no sign of her. Well, the surge in children disappearing has caused immense concern. But let's bring in the founder and CEO of the Western Cape Missing Persons Unit, Candice van der Rheede. Candice, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I think that there's something to be said about certainly the issue of missing children, a big one across the country, but a lot of focus as well in the Western Cape. I mean, is there a particular reason why we're seeing seemingly a surge in missing kids in the Western Cape, in your view?
Well, in my opinion, and I'm referring to the cases that we have done so far.
Sure.
A lot of the cases are due to social issues, right? You're looking at about 80 to 90% of these cases that we do. And that is basically, the 10% is basically abductions, children that have just disappeared without a trace. So it's been there all along, but just nobody has ever been taking note of it.
Yeah. And how is the Western Cape Missing Persons Unit assisting in the Joshlin Smith matter?
Well, we were there in the first week of the search. When we got to Saldanha, things were a total mess because we actually got involved the Tuesday after she had gone missing. Mm. When we got there Saturday, things were a total mess. The Wednesday, everybody started posting lives. Everybody started just posting unconfirmed information, which is really hazardous to the case. Mm. And people don't seem to realize, yes, we understand that they are panicking. Yes, we understand that it's a great concern. But what you are doing when you are posting these lives and this unconfirmed information, you are wreaking havoc amongst the communities. And what you are also doing by posting leads and things on social media, whoever might have taken this child, you are giving them the heads up. Yeah. So you are actually aiding somebody who has committed a crime. And what I've also seen is, which I'm very disappointed in, is that this has now become, a child's disappearance has now become a circus, which for me is so sad. I've been doing missing persons since the Courtney Peters' case, but before that I've been a community worker for the past 24 years. And I've seen and heard a lot, but this case was really, this child, it was exploited. I feel that people just went to extreme levels of making this whole entire case a mockery. Yeah. And when we got there in the first place, the information that we gathered that they're now only busy working on, we gave it to the investigating officer that very week when she disappeared. So why is it only being investigated now?
Mm. You know, I think the reason why we really wanted to speak to you, Candice, and your unit particularly, is because you've been actively involved in so many of these cases, some of the prominent cases that we've seen as well of missing children. I think when we follow a case like that of Joshlin Smith, anyone is thinking, what is the mother going through? What is the family going through? Maybe talk to us about, what you've learned about how families deal with these sort of situations, and perhaps take us back to cases that really stand out for you. I mean, one of the ones that I think I'll never be able personally to wipe out of my mind as we continue to cover these stories is that of little Tasne van Wyk. A story that stands out for you, and the lessons we've learned about how families cope and get by in these difficult times.
Okay, the first case that we did was Courtney Peters, the 3-year-old from Elsie's River that went missing. I coordinated that search. The search went very well. Very, very well. It was well planned. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. But at the end of the day, I was on the team that found that little girl's body. And myself, being a mother and a grandmother, to see a little dead child laying in a bush, it was so horrific. I was sick for weeks and months. It is a sight that will never ever leave me. And it wasn't even long after that when we also found the body of Chanel McCraw from Manenberg, 9-year-old, who was also raped and killed by her uncle. uncle was searching with us. We got to her body. Her body was dumped inside a hole with a curtain over the head. It was a terrible sight. I mean, this was just months after we had found Courtney. So, we always advise these people especially the parents, when it comes to missing children, please just speak to SAPS alone. Do not speak to anybody else, because at the end of the day, you are going to be persecuted. We've seen this happen so many times, and we always advise the reporters of these missings, please don't just speak to anybody, because your business is going to be out on the streets. And what happens then in those kinds of cases is that the children are affected. If you have other children, they are also going to be affected by it, and they're going to be bullied at school. So it's a ripple effect. And these cases that we have done so far, people just don't seem to realize the severity of it. And to them, it's all about sensation. Look like the searches. I watched a video of an organization that found evidence and removed the evidence and took it to a police officer, which you're not allowed to do. You are contaminating a potential crime scene. At the end of the day, what will happen then is if they can link somebody to that evidence, the lawyer can just say, but you transferred that guy's DNA to the evidence when you picked it up.
Yeah. Okay, so let me, and I know we need to start looking at the other cases that you're looking at, because these kids, all important. I mean, I can only imagine what the families are going through. And that, of course, feeds into my next question. What support do we give to families in this case?
Just be there for them. Don't exploit them. Don't use them for personal gain, because I see there's a lot of people and a lot of organizations that are using these parents for personal gain to get donations and things like that, which is very sad. It is so sad. These people are experiencing trauma to the highest level, because not knowing where your child is the worst part of it all, especially in the 4 cases that we do have right now. Lenati Tichala, a child from 2018 that just disappeared without a trace. Nobody knows where this child is. Yeah. Luna Mandla.
Let's just bring up, so don't speed through them. Sorry, let me just jump in there, Candice, so that you don't speed through them, because I want to bring up the images of them. This is Lenati Tichala. She was last seen on the 16th of December in 2019. So go ahead and tell us about her. I want to give each of them enough attention, Candice. So let's talk about Lenati, and then we'll talk about the other 3, so that if we can get some assistance, we're able to do so. Candice?
Okay, Lenati just after a grad, I told her to go home and change her clothes. It was on a Sunday morning, I can remember. It was in December. And then she went over, because her mother stays a few houses away. They stay in a window house. She went inside. The stepfather then said to her that she needs to go and fetch water to wash herself. She left to fill the can with water. Disappeared completely without a trace. Nobody saw her. Nobody, even if we just had some sort of clue as to if she got into a car, but nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so your line... Yeah, your line is giving us some trouble, but I want to move on now. Let's look at Kaisha Maniz. This one, I mean, Kaisha was 2 months old. And Kaisha was last
Kaisha
seen...
Maniz.
Yeah.
Yeah, last seen in Bishop Lavers at ShopRite. The lady that had her was going into ShopRite, and then she asked this woman, whom they met that day, to keep her, because she cannot cope with all the children that were with her, and plus Kaisha. When she came out, the lady had disappeared with the child. Same story with Eva Kele.
Yeah.
Eva Kele was also given to somebody that, a strange woman, disappeared with Eva Kele, never to be seen again.
Yeah, in 2022.
So these are very...
Yeah.
Yes, these are very, very sad cases.
Yeah, and then there's Luna Mandla Sitonga, who was age 12, last seen in 2020.
20.
Candice, you can go ahead and tell us about Luna Mandla.
Okay, she went to school, dropped by the driver. Driver went to a meeting. She never entered the premises of the school.
Yeah.
She just disappeared. Nobody saw her.
Well, I hope
nobody saw her.
I hope that we've taken these images to mind, and you know, if you recognize any of these kids, just reach out and give their family some sort of peace, or hopefully bring the babies back home? What do we do once we feel like we've spotted the children? Who do we call? What's the steps we take? Candice.
You can call your nearest police station. There's numbers on our flyers. Our flyers are being widely spread all over social media. You can contact 10111. Say, look, give a description, tell them your location, give the address where you have seen the child, because it's very important. Details are very important. People don't seem to realize the importance of being alert and being aware at all times, especially when you're out on the streets. Always look around where you're walking, because you don't know who you might see or what might happen. But people can feel free to go to their local SAT, say, look here, I saw this person at that specific time. We saw him at this road. Take note of the address. Take note of the clothing the child had on. So take note of the person that you've seen the child with, especially.
Well, let me ask you this, and I want to wrap it up, because I think what we've done is, obviously, we've had a very sad conversation about what can go wrong. But talk to us about the positive stories that you had, where, I mean, a story perhaps that you have briefly of having been able to reunite a child with their family.
Oh, there's so many.
Okay, good.
But there's so many. It's just sad that our organization has to exist. I just feel it's very sad that our organizations like mine that has to do restorations and things like safe at all times. We have many cases. There's not one that stands out particularly, because every case there where we've reunited our children and reunited our missing ones with their families has been quite emotional. So for us, that is, we don't get funding, we don't get payment for what we do, and that payment of seeing tears of joy in our families' eyes is the most rewarding feeling ever.
Yeah, I love that, because that says there's still hope. There's still hope. There always is hope. Thank you so much, and keep up the good work. We really do appreciate your time. Candice van der Rheede, founder of the Western Cape Missing Persons Unit. Do support their work and look out for the kids that we've shown you this morning as well.